From the Gospel according to St. Mark. And a great crowd followed Jesus and thronged about him. And there was a woman who had had a flow of blood for 12 years, and who had suffered much under many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was no better, but rather grew worse.
For 12 years, the flow of blood drained every ounce of my strength, my savings, my whole livelihood. I endured painful examinations from one physician after another. No one could help. No one could figure out what caused my problem. But it didn't stop them from taking my money. All of my savings was gone. I was at the point of being destitute. Worse than that, I was losing hope. I was giving up on my life. What life? I had no life, at least not one worth living. Despair. I was at the point of despair. Wandering aimlessly through my village, my head in a daze, not knowing what to do, I suddenly found myself in the midst of a great crowd of people. I didn't know how I got there or what was going on. I gathered myself together enough to inquire what was happening, and someone told me that you, Jesus, were there. I remembered hearing about you from neighbors. They told me about your teachings. They said you healed the sick. My thoughts were interrupted when I learned that you had received word from a little girl who was at the point of death, and you were going to her. All of a sudden, I panicked. I thought that my last chance for being healed was standing right before me. It was you, and you were about to leave. I tried to think of what to do, but I was a mess. I couldn't think straight. All I knew was that my last hope was slipping away. You healed the sick, I was sick, you could heal me. What could I do? There were too many people shouting at you, demanding your attention. Then I thought, just touch his garment. Just to touch your clothing would be enough. You were my last hope. You were my only hope. You healed others. I knew that you would heal me. I reached out my hand and brushed your cloak. As my hand met your garment, I could feel a wave of warmth across my body. A warmth I had never felt before. A warmth that penetrated the very core of my being. Suddenly, my mind was clear. My heart was full. I felt strong again. I was aware that my flow of blood had stopped. There was no more pain, no more discomfort. I felt well. After 12 long years, I finally felt well. Then you turned and asked, who touched me? I became frightened. Did I do something wrong? Should I have asked you first? You kept looking around and asking who had touched you. Finally, I came forward. I was trembling uncontrollably. I was filled with fear. I fell on the ground at your feet and told you the whole truth about my life. You were so patient, and I will never forget this. You called me daughter. Daughter, you said, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease. Faith was the only thing I had left, and even that was small and near empty. I had not had peace in so long. You gave me that gift as well. And healing. After 12 long, agonizing years, there was finally healing. Now I find myself in the midst of another crowd. I followed them up this hill to where you are hanging on this cross. Fear and trembling grip me once more. I fall on my knees before you. So great is my grief. I want so desperately to touch you again. Then I hear you say, Father, Into your hands I commit my spirit. Your words fill my heart and rekindle my memory. On the day you healed me, I gave myself over to you. You were my last hope. You were my only hope. Now, helplessly nailed to the cross, you give yourself to your Father in heaven. Your offering of self reminds me that I had nothing left to give. You filled me with new life. I cannot help but think that in giving yourself over to your Father, He will restore you to the fullness of life. Since you healed me, I even think differently. I see beyond the present moment and see something new, something fulfilled, something beautiful and full of life. I can think this way only because I gave myself to you, Jesus. You addressed me as daughter. I commit my spirit with yours to our Father. I am here, Jesus, in your time of need, just as you were there in my time. I am here, Jesus. You are not alone.